Chapter 64, we introduce another ism of the 20th century, this time minimalism. Honestly, this is music that is near and dear to my heart. I really find this music incredibly beautiful. A lot of you, though, might find it super boring because it uses such a small amount of musical material, but that's what I think is so great about it. Minimalism is a direct attack on serialism or 12 tone. All the stuff that Schoenberg and Berg and Webern and that second Viennese school is doing, where it's hyper complex and hyper mathematical. They just are like, this is BS, man. This is too much. Let's get back to the basics. Let's get back to one chord, the triad, right? The most important chord in all of music harmony. Let's get back to that and let's just repeat it for a long, long time. Almost all minimalism is dictated by a pulse, a kind of constant beat, or oftentimes it's an eighth note pulse. And there are several composers that fit into this minimalist camp. My favorite of the bunch is who is in this chapter, Steve Reich. Steve Reich, honestly, is one of my top 3 composers that I love. I've met him several times. He's not the nicest man in person, but his music really is groundbreaking. He went to Africa and studied polyrhythmic drumming of African tribes and brought that back and tried to make that work in a Western notation system. So lots of his music is very rhythmic. It's overlapping patterns. And he's also known for this style of music known as phasing, where you come up with one idea and then you let it get off from itself. You repeat it so much and then you re-record another section and have the exact same notes overlapping. And so basically what happens is it's one melody that gets pushed away from itself and out of sync. And when it gets out of sync or out of phase, thus phasing, new melodies start to pop up, and you hear that here in Electric Counterpoint. This is a beautiful piece that I hope you'll give a chance. A lot of people listen to this music and they get bored very, very quickly. But what's interesting about minimalism, especially this phasing kind of technique that Reich employs here, is that if you really pay attention, things start to change when you don't expect it, right when you kind of get hypnotized by one pattern or one kind of harmonic language. He moves just one note or one chord to shift things, and it's almost kind of like, I hate to use this word, it's a bit of an eargasm. If you really like this piece, which is a very short example, my suggestion is go and look at the Pulitzer Prize winning piece, Music for 18 Musicians by Steve Reich. This piece changed my life, and it changed a lot of others people's lives. When you hear it for the first time, it's an hour long, and it's just the same eighth notes happening over and over again. And it's just this wave of different sounds and different instruments kind of washing across the stage when they're performing it. Yes, it can maybe be boring, but you just have to like sit back, zone out, hint, hint, and listen and enjoy the shifts, the changes of colors. Enjoy the simplicity of it. Even though it sounds super simple, super boring, like nothing's happening, so much is happening in this music. You just have to listen for it. So, Music for 18 Musicians if you really like this piece. If you don't, just listen to this little snippet of Electric Counterpoint. I think you'll enjoy it.